Hello, gorgeous people of the experiment. Today's a big call. And obviously, I'm given all of the actual energies of the call in order to lead it. It's the way it goes. Okay, so the first thing in the homework that I asked you guys to do, what I asked is that you practice amplifying your energy field. And in reading your homework, I really saw that for some of you, this has been absolutely life-changing. Like there has really been an understanding of how present you can be. There has really been an understanding of how in charge of your energy you actually are. There has been a realization of how much power you have. There's been a realization that you can do this at any point, at any time, and kind of like take your power back. There's been some incredible stories. And I've also had, in reading some of your shares, examples where you're still having a little bit of a difficulty expanding the energy. So there's two things I want to say to you about that. The first one is that your energy field has different ways that it can expand and retract. And it's not necessary for us in our lives to always have this like larger than life, super glowing energy field. And I feel that a lot of times in personal development and a lot of times on my journey, whenever I had a mentor, especially spiritual mentors, there was a lot of conversation about ascension and a lot of conversations about becoming this like elevated being. And what I realized in my journey is that I have not been an elevated being all of my life, perfect all the time. And I also haven't just always been super shiny. I haven't always been on the top of my game every day. It hasn't been the truth that every day I woke up and I was like, I'm amazing, I'm perfect, I'm high vibe. That hasn't always been the truth. And so shouldn't it technically be that my results shouldn't have been what they are based on what we get kind of sold? The idea that we get sold that if we manage to be perfect, then, we deserve it. But if we are human, then we don't deserve it. If we have to tap into our spiritual. So I have contemplated this a lot on my journey because what I've realized is that the only way I could be entirely immovable in my energy is if I didn't speak to anybody ever again. Like if I just focused on the wind and the gratitude of the sun and the gratitude of the flowers, and I really just like never heard a person say something that makes me mad ever again. Never felt, oh God, are you kidding me ever again? Never felt interrupted ever again. Never felt like I wanted something and someone got in the way of me having it ever again. Like there's no really way for me to be perfect in the face of all of that. It's just not possible. And so I've asked myself, like, do I want to be perfect though? Is that what I want? Do I want to be perfect? Is that the outcome? Is that the goal? And I realized that I don't think I came here just to not feel half of the feelings of my human experience. I don't think that's why I agreed to come here. To just be this perfect spiritual thing with a body. It's like, why did I choose the body then? So in contemplating, what I realized is that the idea is not that I be this perfect, energetically perfect being, but the idea is that in moments where I am able or capable or willing to play with my energy, I can amplify if I want. But I don't need to amplify every day. And what I found is that in my life, when I amplify my energy, it comes with all kinds of stuff, good stuff and hard stuff. When I amplify my energy, it calls in people to me. People see me, people find me, people are drawn to me, but also people expect a certain thing. And they tend to expect it for days after the one powerful day. So if I'm powerful on a Monday, they expect me to be powerful on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday. It's like once they've seen me this way, they expect that it should always be, because shouldn't it? And that's the real question here. Should it be that we're just always on? And so as I started contemplating this like high vibe, what I realized is that there are extraordinary things on the frequency of high vibe, but it's only when it's real. And it's true. So I get to touch things that are on the frequency of high vibe. When I allow myself to actually feel the feelings, I can pick a flower and I can sit with that flower and I can be with it and I can expand my energy field. I can sit across the table from Kevin and realize how in love I am and let the energy field grow, 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 grow. I can have those moments. What made me not want to have those moments before? Why is it that my soul never went looking for the answers that I found before? Because I wonder sometimes, why did it take for me to like lose everything? For me to be in the front seat of my car with absolutely nothing left to finally hear these voices? Like, why? And I'm going to tell you what I've realized. If those voices would have come sooner, I would not have listened to them for the main number one reason that it would have meant that I could be okay. Now, for some of you, this is going to resonate. For some of you, this is not. But here's the thing. If I could be okay, then I wasn't allowed to be a victim anymore. Especially not of everything the way I was doing it. Victim of money, victim of breakups, friends not caring, life being unfair, my employer not paying me on time, my inability to know what I'm supposed to be when I grow up, my ex-boyfriend cheating and lying and everything. Like, if I could amplify my power, if I could actually choose a day to be happy, I could just do that, then wouldn't that actually discredit all of the bad days? Would I then become not allowed to have the bad days? If I could move out of the bad days, if I could create such beauty, would I then just be silly? If I didn't choose to do this every day? But then this is the cycle of shaming ourselves. So if you've ever done this, like you're having a bad day and you can't snap out of it, and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I should be able to turn the page on this. I should be able to not be sad about this. Imagine if all of a sudden you enter the God zone and you're able to like expand your energy field into some extraordinary radius. You're able to do all of that, but today you're in the mood to be really sad and cry. What might you say about you? What are some of the first things that come to mind that you know, if you were totally capable of amplifying your power, totally, but in this moment you were like, no, I feel bad. And then you started judging yourself, like, why don't I just do the thing? Or what will people think if they know I'm capable of doing big things? And instead I'm choosing this. Am I weak? Am I weak? Am I fake? Ugh. Am I weak? Am I fake? Am I broken? What's wrong with me? My energy feels stuck. I'm a hypocrite. So what do we choose to do if we don't know if we can be perfect forever? I'm a liar. If we don't think we can be perfect forever, we choose not to do it at all. And for some of you, deep in your spirit, there are things that hurt. There are things that are not settled right now. And there are people that you don't want them to see you smile deep down. Right now, there's a phase in your life where someone did something to you and you really feel they need to like pay for what they did, or they need to be made aware that they really did something wrong. Like you would like them to experience shame to some extent, deep, deep, deep in your insides. And so if you want them to feel all of that and you want them to know that they hurt you, and you want them to know that they took something from you, and you want them to know that they disappointed you, and you want them to know that they messed up, you can't go out there being all happy. You can't go out there commanding the universe to bend for you and also want that person to pay at the same time. You're fake, you're phony, you're full of baloney. You can't, you're not allowed. So are you really going to give up on your right to be hurt? No, we don't want to give up that. We need that. So what do we give up on? We give up on our ultimate power. We say, you know what? I won't use that right now because if I use it, it'll look like this didn't hurt me so much. I'm not going to use this right now because if I use it, it'll look like people can do this to me all the time. I'm not going to use this power because if I use it, it'll look like people can get away with the bad thing that they did. You know what? I'm not going to use this power right now or else people won't realize that I'm a human and that I deserve to be treated properly. You know what? I'm not going to use the power right now because if I do that, people just think I'm fine and then they won't take responsibility for their actions. You know what? I'm not going to do this right now or else people are going to think, instead of actually having a full human experience and saying, sometimes I access this and I can do miracles in my life. And other times I struggle. Even though I know I could turn the page and I could pick a flower, I could change my energy field, I could fall in love and change my energy field. Even though I know in my body I could do it, my emotions are like, nope, you're sad. Be sad. I don't want to be sad. I want to create ultimate magical power. It's like, okay, then actually stop being sad and go create magical power. But I can't, I'm sad. Then be sad. But I don't want to be sad. We're so afraid of our feelings that we try to just pretend we're fine and keep creating magical things. And so what has started to happen in my life is I realize that I can't not be sad. And I can't not be disappointed, and I can't not be mad at all. It just doesn't exist. It's like it doesn't exist. I can't stop that feeling. But what I can do is change how long I'm mad for. But the only way I can really stop how long I'm feeling the emotions is to feel them. I've never actually managed to stop the feeling by trying to stop the feeling. Does that make sense? Like the only way it happens is like I let myself be so sad and all of a sudden I'm like, huh, well, that helped. Let's do something else. I let myself feel the anger, let it go through me, breathe through it, feel it, let myself feel it. And then like, oh, either I need a nap or I feel better. But what doesn't really work is to be like, oh no, I'm sad. I don't want to be sad. Stop the sad. Be happy instead. Pick a flower. Expand the energy field. Like that's not real. And so if you've been struggling with this exercise that I've been asking you to do, but you can tell that in your life right now, things haven't been the easiest and you've kind of been disallowing yourself to be feeling some things. When you're just going to go to try to amplify the energy field, to love something, to be in gratitude, you're going to feel this like, eh. And I've contemplated like, why can't we override it? But what I've realized is every time we try to override, we're trying to tell the small little version of us, the little child, the little person inside of us, that their feelings are inconvenient. And the thing is, it tends to make it worse because that is how our feelings used to feel when we were little, if they didn't land. It's not that they were wrong. People were not like, oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed in you. You're sad when you were a little kid. That wasn't it. It wasn't like you should know better than to be sad. It was like, why are you sad? We're having a great day. Why are you ruining Christmas? Why are you ruining this moment? Everything is so good. Why do you have to go feel this way? You know what I mean? So when you're feeling this way, it's the first thing you say to yourself. Why am I ruining today? It's supposed to be such a great day. Why am I feeling like this morning? This is supposed to be my day off. This is supposed to be my date night. This is supposed to be whatever it is. And I'm ruining it. I'm supposed to be doing all these high vibe things. And I'm ruining it. And so it won't work for ourselves to make our feelings inconvenient. It just won't. It won't work to say, okay, we don't have time. Let's not be sad. We don't have time to be sad. We can't be sad. Let's be happy. It doesn't work to do that. But what does work is to say, oh, I know I'm capable of huge, amazing, incredible things. And in this moment, I'm sad. And I don't even know if it would be right for me to try to do big, incredible things because it would feel like I'd be telling the sad part of me that it's inconvenient. So why don't I just take a minute with this? Why don't I just take a moment, whatever it is I feel like doing, whether I want to go take a long walk outside and have a good cry, whether I want to sit and journal for a little bit and get my feelings out, whether I want to, move some things around today and take care of me, whatever it is that I feel like I need to do. Let me do that. And then I can pick up being superhuman a little later. Now, this has really helped me in my life because I realized that if I expect myself to be perfect all the time, I'm going to be disappointed with myself a lot. And what's the point? Because what I really want and what I really care about being on this planet is a guitar that you can jam with by the campfire. And so if I only can sing happy jingles and I don't let myself play all the music, all the songs of my soul, then I have a partial life experience. But when I allow myself to move through the sadness, it really does go away. So I'd like for you to take a moment and contemplate, when in your life have you had a day that had a really sad phase or a sad moment in it, but somehow it turned around. And you ended up having a totally different end of day. Do you have a memory like that? There was like a sad moment, and then when you felt it and you were sad, after that, there was just joy after. Like it passed. Do you also remember having days where the day was actually just the worst and you wouldn't let yourself feel that? And so you went to bed angry and you woke up the next day feeling bad and you didn't let yourself feel that. You tried to push that down. And then next thing you know, you'd been grumpy for like days on end and it started to impact your month. And then people asked you, what the heck's going on with you? I feel like you've just not been yourself lately. The next thing you realize something happened to you last week or a couple of weeks ago, and you've just been trying not to feel it because you've got things to do, because you don't have time to feel, because you've just got to do what you've got to do. And now it's just like become a part of you for so long. So when we feel it, it passes through. When we push it, we'll look at it later. 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 What it does is it starts to amplify. In the same way, if you tell a little kid, I'm talking, I'll talk to you later. I'm talking, I'll talk to you later. I'm not right now. Go over there, ask me later. Eventually the child will snap. You know, we'll break something, we'll freak out. We'll say, you don't love me, you hate me, or we'll just jaw up on the floor and start wobbling like a fish and wailing in anger because we're not supposed to ignore, but we ignore. So what do we really need as human beings? If we really take away all the stories and we really go with the very logical, like very just matter of fact, what do we need? We need to be able to feel. We need to be able to feel. And on days where it's available, we get to amplify our joy, our bliss, our gratitude. We don't just feel things, we can amplify them. In the same way, if you were in the mood on a really angry day, if you let yourself amplify that anger, you could get so mad. You could amplify that until people are like, step away. I'm going to give myself at least, 20 meters between you and I because I'm afraid of you in this moment. Like you could amplify anger to the point of exploding. You could amplify sadness to, oh my gosh, like it's the end of the world, but you can amplify joy and you can amplify bliss and you can amplify all the things. And so what I love is really feeling my sadness so it doesn't amplify. Really feeling my anger so it doesn't amplify. And when I feel something beautiful, I amplify. Because I get to. And on days where it's not available, it's just like, I'll be grateful with the amount of joy that I have. I'll be grateful with the amount of gratitude that I have. But if you could imagine your body as an energy field, and we imagine, what happens when you have a moment of bliss and then you allow yourself to expand the energy, like we see that and how beautiful that is. But then also just imagine being grateful, like just calm, matter-of-factly grateful. That has a beautiful little glow. Now imagine being sad or angry. But now imagine being mad about being sad or mad about being angry. Start to expand your field again. So what I've realized is that I'm human. And most people on the planet have exactly the field they have. And they're walking around exactly as such. Some people are walking around with an amplified anger field, an amplified sadness field, to the point where you might even describe a person as the field you experience from them. The angry one, the one that's like always like just always feels like it's in the end of the world. You know that person? Oh yeah. I know which one. Because the field speaks louder than the person. When you're around them, you feel the anxiety, like, oh my gosh, this person's constantly mad about something. It's always something's about to explode with this one all the time. I feel it. I feel fear. I'm around you. I'm worried about like something's going to go wrong. I can feel it because the energy field is like, I'm mad about being mad, or I'm afraid of being mad, or I'm expecting I'm going to be mad. And they're just like walking with this mine around them. It's like, oops, anything could happen. Then you have the person that comes into the room that's just like, they're going to have a story about a bad thing. it's going to be a bad thing. They're going to have a story about a bad thing. Like when you see them, you wipe the smile off your face in support because you already know they're not doing so well. And it's in the entire field. It's like, are you okay? Are you not, like, what's going on? Every time you see them, you meet them right there, like where they are in the sadness. That's not who they are. That's the field they amplify to the point where everyone can feel it. But that's not who they are. Now, if this person just tried to come into this experiment and tried to pick up a flower, they would not be able to just amplify the bliss right away. That's not the thing that would happen right away. What would probably happen is they would feel unable to pick the flower in the energy that they want, because it would be, if you can imagine, the field of anger is this big and the field of gratitude is this big. And they would pick the flower, they'd barely touch it, they'd barely feel the energy, they'd try to expand, and they'd come against the edges of their sadness or their anger. And then they'd somehow hit the sadness or the anger, and the experience of picking the flower and trying to amplify it would remind them that they're sad, or remind them that they're angry, or whatever else it is that they amplify as their field around them. So I don't know if you've ever realized or if you've ever experienced this, but like someone who, even when something is so beautiful, the more beautiful it gets, it's a moment of time before they sabotage it and it becomes a fight every time. And it's like, how is this possible? Like, this was literally the perfect day. And you were happy, and then you got so happy that you just like click, and all of a sudden you got mad. It's like something happened. It's when you try to amplify joy within an angry container, you try to amplify joy within a sad container, you touch the edges. It's like when you're grieving and your energy field around sadness is so big, and all of a sudden you have a beautiful moment. You can allow yourself to have little beautiful moments, but if the energy of your joy hits the walls of your sadness, the joy will make you sad. How can I be happy right now? You'll remind yourself because it hits the wall. So it's not really healthy for us to keep this angry energy field or the sad energy field and try to fix it by pushing from the inside out, because we'll always hit the wall. You've got to come back to your centeredness, letting yourself be sad and not having this moment, like, I'm supposed to be able to pick the flower and expand it or else I failed the experiment. Or I've got to let myself feel my feelings. Because if I keep my big angry or sad energy field and I expand the joy inside of it, as soon as I hit the wall, the whole thing will come back to center. I'll crash with it. I'll crash into myself. And this is when we say things like, no matter what happens, I can never be happy, because even on the happiest day, it all comes back to this. No matter what I do, no matter how big the joy is, no matter what beautiful days, I'll never be able to feel it because everything comes crashing back, and like, what's wrong with me and what's wrong with me? And so it doesn't matter how much we want to be happy. Joy is not supposed to be a distraction. It's a frequency of its own. And what happens when we use joy or pleasure as a distraction is we create addictions. Pleasure on the frequency of pleasure is one of the purest, most beautiful frequencies. But pleasure to numb pain, it's a very slippery slope. Because now it's like, okay, I'm sad. Give me something that makes me happy. Give me something that makes me feel happy, that's going to make the sad go away. And when we do that, it never actually becomes real bliss, real joy, real pleasure. It just kind of numbs the sad. And we start to live in this place where at least I'm not miserable. I don't know how to feel those happy feelings most people feel. I don't know how to do that. But here, at least I don't feel anything. And it's so important when we talk about this. This is not a question of what is right or what is wrong or what you should do or what you shouldn't do. This is an experiment. I have experimented with all of the things. I have numbed until I could barely feel any of my sadness, even if it meant I couldn't feel any joy whatsoever. And if someone would have told me, I'm going to show you how to amplify your joy, I probably wouldn't have wanted it, because to amplify my joy would have meant that I was no longer going to be sad about stuff, which I kept as a security blanket for the reason behind my entire identity at that point. The reason I'm sad is because of all these things and this and that. But what if I could just be happy? It would invalidate all of that. It's all subconscious, obviously. I would probably say, yes, I want to be happy. But as soon as you gave me the choice, okay, so give me the pain, I'd be like, but what are you going to do with it? We're going to let it go. But then what about the people who did me wrong? How am I going to show them that they did me wrong? You won't. You won't need it anymore. You're going to be happy. No. But what about them? Are they going to be happy? I don't know. Well, are they going to be happy? Because they don't get to be happy. Look at what they did to me. They did this, they did this, they did this. I know. But this is about you and your life and your joy. Yeah. Okay, so give me the pain. Answer the question. Are they going to be happy if I give you this? Because I can't give you this if they automatically are okay. Because they don't get to just be off the hook that easy. Okay, so you're going to hold on to this pain for the rest of your life just so that they don't get off the hook easy? Yes. Deep down in my pain, I would have held on to the thing that was hurting me. Because how come someone that does something so terrible and they get to just walk away? But then I realized I'm probably not the only person. The bad people that I imagine are so bad and terrible have done things to. I'm not the only person. And so is one person really worth like half the world just being miserable because they've done something to them just to hold them accountable? Or can I trust in Mother Nature, God, the universe, that if this person is to ever be accountable, they're gonna have their own journey. Like me holding on to pain to punish them, that can't have been the way it was designed. God wasn't like, here, hold this forever and maybe this person will learn something. That wasn't it. But there was fear. Like if I let go of this anger, then this person won't get to see the sad look on my face for the rest of time. And then maybe they won't feel that anymore. And when I realized this was what I was doing, I cried a lot. I cried in shame of who I had become. I cried in an embarrassment of myself. I was literally alone in my car and I just remember just crying. Like if someone could read my mind, if someone could see what I'm doing to myself, someone knew the depth of my truth, like would anyone even love me? Like what is this ugliness? Like what the heck is wrong with me? Then I just couldn't do anything with this shame. Couldn't put it anywhere because there was nothing to numb with. There was no TV show or bottle of wine or friend to gossip with or boyfriend to distract myself with or so I just had to sit there with my feelings and breathe. And what I came to realize is that if I didn't need to be sad or to punish anybody as evidence that they had done something wrong, it still didn't change the fact that they'd done something wrong. It just changed my life. They still did something wrong in the big scheme of things. They still did something to me that was not right. That's the frequency of truth. I didn't need to prove it for the rest of my life in order for it to stay true. It's the truth. And I don't need it anymore because it's the truth either way. Whether I live by it and prove it to the whole world, it won't change the truth if it's the truth, but it'll change my life. This is when the understanding of energetics started coming to me. This is when the thoughts about like, if you can just go from here to the next level, if you can just raise the energy just a little bit, if you can go from this to being grateful that you put it down, and then if you can go from there to being proud of yourself that you put it down and you're grateful that you put it down and you're proud of yourself that you did something good for you. And then if you can feel the peace of the gratitude that you put it down. And then if you can feel joy about the peace, about the gratitude that you put it down. And then I started to realize how to amplify the feelings when there was no edge. I did find upper limits anyway. Then the upper limits became, what if I'm so happy and something bad happens? Will the sadness be so much worse? And so I noticed myself not wanting to be too happy just in case. But then the happiest thing happened on the worst day and it wasn't more painful. The worst thing happened on the happiest day and it wasn't more painful than just sadness. And I realized it doesn't work that way. It's not like a ladder. Joy isn't actually like a ladder that if you fall off, you're sadder when you fall. You just feel more embarrassed, not more sad. You feel more embarrassed that you were so happy and you didn't see the thing coming. But you don't feel more sad. This is how this work really started to change things for me. So to this day, what's more important for me is not that I'm not allowed to be sad or I'm not allowed to be mad. as I don't allow myself to shame myself for my feelings. This shouldn't get to you, but it did. This shouldn't bother you, but it did. You have such a beautiful life. Why would you let yourself feel sad for this? Because I'm sad. Why would you let yourself be angry about that? That person doesn't even know what they're talking about. Because I'm upset. I just don't let myself shame the feeling. And it goes so much faster. It goes so much faster because I meet it where it is. I feel it. And then it's gone. Now, there are questions, and I always get these questions, whether I'm doing this program, Femme Fatale, whatever it is, like, what about people who suffer from depression? And I would say that there are so many different levels to this. There's so many different layers of this. When I was in the front seat of my car, one night I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, I actually thought I was having a heart attack. I drove myself to the hospital, crippled in half. My vision was going blurry. I couldn't breathe. I ended up going to the Institut de Cardiologie in Montreal, which is like the heart, like the Institute for Cardiovascular Health in Montreal. They rushed me in. They took my blood pressure. They took my heartbeat. They put me in right away. They put me in the middle of a corridor. There was nothing. They hooked me up to all these machines. That night, a doctor came to me and said, "There's a possibility you may need open heart surgery. Do you have a contact for us to call?" And I said, "No." I thought I was going to die. My grandmother had heart failure when she was young. I thought for sure this is what I had. I'm going to die. That's it. I was in there for 3 days to try to figure out what the heck was wrong with me. And in the end, they said, "You have severe anxiety and depression." And they gave me pills for it. And I left that place with pills and I just couldn't take them. Something in me said, "Don't. You're doing this. See if you can do it yourself." But I worked morning, noon, and night on this. I thought about this more than any other thing. I didn't even have other real relationships in my life or anything else to focus on. I dissected myself like it was my full-time job. I didn't brush my sadness under the table. I felt it. I didn't brush my anxiety under the table. I felt it. When I felt the heart attack feeling coming, I knew what it was. I breathed through it, and I actually never ended up taking that medication. But there are different degrees of depression and anxiety. There are times where it's like a chemical imbalancement that doesn't matter how much you try to do. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe it's something else. I'm not an expert at that. I can't say every single depression and ailment can be healed by this work. I can't say that. And I also can't say that what I did was the smart thing or the best thing. It's just what I ended up doing. But when you ask me, like, what do we do if it's depression? What do we do if it's anxiety? Maybe for you it is to take the medication. I don't know. Maybe it is to see like a trauma specialist or a psychiatrist, like, especially if you have so many things on your plate and you don't have time to just sit in the front seat of a car and work on your mental health for months, like, there was a privilege in the chaos of my life. But this is where breath work, tapping, portal dropping became my way of being, because I could feel it come on like a storm. But if someone would have told me, "Ah, you're not depressed. Come on, snap out of it." Oh my gosh, the shame I would have felt in that moment might have killed me. It's the fact that there was just me. It was just me and myself and my truth. Like, no, this is not right for me. This is what I'm going to do. But if someone had shamed me at all for it, "You're depressed. What do you have to be depressed about?" You're not depressed. I can tell you right now, my body contracts. The whole thing would have been like, the portal dropping is something I teach in Femme Fatale. So you've got to know, like, sometimes we share things and the response we get from people is like, you will share the most vulnerable thing about yourself, and someone will come in with an answer that makes you feel so ashamed you can't breathe. And so this is the next most important piece that we've touched, but now we're going to go deeper on, which is the shame and the understanding of being ashamed versus understanding being unshameable. So it is important for us to feel shame. It is important because shame is like a moral compass. Shame is the thing inside of you that tells you, "Hey, that's not good what you just did. Hey, whoa. What are you doing? You've crossed a line with this person. Like, you don't get to speak to people like that. Whoa. Your reaction is not okay. You're mad, but that person did not deserve that." The shame is the part of you that says, No, that's unacceptable. The way you handled that is not good for your relationship. You need this. You need this shame, because the shame is the part of you that goes, oh, gosh, I wouldn't have seen this without this part of me. I wouldn't have seen, because when I'm mad, if I'm just mad, I'm mad at you and I react mad at you with no filter. I'm not just mad where I could process my feelings. I'm mad at you and I give you all of this stuff that's unacceptable. I call you names. I yell at you. I corner you. I belittle you. I embarrass you. I tell a lie about you. I put you on the spot. But I feel right about that because you did something bad to me. You pushed my buttons. You did something that was not good to me. So I respond with no self-awareness. If the shame never kicks in, I don't see myself. Shame is like a mirror. It's not supposed to last forever. You're not supposed to pick it up like I am a shameful, terrible person and what I did is absolutely awful for the rest of time. It's got to be like, whoa, if this feeling is arising, let me look at me. It's a moral compass. It's this thing that's like, that was not right. That's not the way I talk to people. You know, you blow up on your toddler and you walk away and you feel shame, crippling shame in your stomach. And you're like, oh my God, why? Because yelling at a 2-year-old is not the thing you were supposed to do today. And you know that. But your anger is nothing to be ashamed about. Your sadness is not something wrong. But the way you reacted, So for me, the difference between guilt and shame is guilt is what I did. Shame is who I am. So if this is something I've never done before, it's completely out of character for me and it happens once, I might feel guilt the first time. Like, I don't know what took over me. I feel so guilty. This is not my style. You know me. I'm so sorry. This will not happen again. But what about when it happens twice? That's when shame kicks in. Why? What is wrong with me that I can't fix this? What is wrong with me? Because I already said this has happened once before and I said I'd never do it again. And here I am again. Like, why am I losing my temper this way? Why am I saying these mean things? Why am I doing this? The shame shows you that who you are being is not in alignment with who you want to be. And so I believe we need these feelings. We need guilt because guilt shows us we did something that was not right for who we want to be. Shame is important because shame tells us I just did something. I'm creating a pattern, or there's something inside of me that I'm being that is not right for me and who I want to be. So it's important that we feel those feelings and that we have a responsibility towards ourselves and a relationship towards ourselves when those feelings come up. And there's a difference between being ashamed of myself and feeling a feeling of shame and going, oh, let me look at that right now. Let me look at that right now. So the compound effect becomes when I feel shame for something, but then I feel ashamed. And when I feel ashamed that I feel ashamed. And now I start to compound and expand my energy field with shame. And then I'm sensitive. I'm trigger sensitive. And what do people do that feel like their entire energy field is shame? They shame people. So when you feel in your body like you walk with a lot of shame on a daily basis, you worry about who you are and if you're enough all the time. It feels like I'm ashamed of my financial situation. I'm ashamed of how I handle myself in conflicts. I'm ashamed of my passion projects or my business not taking off the way that I want. I'm ashamed of my social media presence and how people don't really listen to me much. I'm ashamed of my sense of humor and my weird way that when I feel uncomfortable, I say something that no one gets and then I get this like awkward silence and I'm like, why did I say something? I feel ashamed of my laugh when I laugh at the wrong time. I feel ashamed that I can't get myself out of the sadness. I feel ashamed that I tend to get misunderstandings with all kinds of people and I feel like I'm always the problem and feels like people don't understand me. I'm ashamed of all of this. I'm ashamed of my relationship with my mom, and I'm afraid I'm ashamed of the fight I just had here, and I'm ashamed that this employee just quit, and I'm ashamed, and I've got all this ball of shame. And so when you do something that bugs me, what's my first thing I'm going to do to you, you think? Oh, shut up. You think you're so smart? You know what? I'm going to shame you. Oh, am I bugging you today? Oh, are you a little sensitive? I'm going to shame you. Oh, what are you talking about? Like, you didn't hear a word I said. Like, that's not at all what I said. You know, are you stupid? Are you this or that? Shame, 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 everybody. Shame, 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 shame. So you're this. So basically what you're telling me is this. So you're this. So what I'm seeing is this. You're this, 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 you're this. You deflect all of your shame onto other people. And you become the person that feels like, I don't know what's going on, but I cannot be around this person because I literally just feel ashamed of myself all the time. That's all I ever feel. I feel belittled and ashamed all the time. So if you ever had a parent that shamed you all the time, that shamed not just you, but your siblings and maybe even your other parent, it's like, why is this person like that? It's because in that moment, their energy field of shame was so big, it bumped into everything. And it didn't matter whether it was anger that arose or sadness or even joy, bing, it hit the sides and shame came out every time. Shame about your face, shame about your weight, shame about your life, shame about your love, your past, your intelligence, your abilities, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's just like shame, 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 shame. If I send it your way, somehow it feels like I'm not feeling it, but that's not the case. So the problem is that shame is like the greatest epidemic on this planet. People are riddled with it. And because when you are full of shame, you shame other people, that means if you can imagine what the world looks like, you can imagine one person full of shame, and that person shames everyone around them. And there's another person over here, and they're full of shame, and they shame everyone around them. Well, this person's getting shamed by this person and this person. Now there's a pattern. So now they feel ashamed because two of the most important people in the world shame them constantly. So now they start to amplify their shame, and they shame this person back and that person back, and they shame back. But now all of a sudden, they amplify the shame out this way. So this person who was also being shamed by this person is now being shamed by this person. So now their shame amplifies. And what happens is we're walking on a planet where everyone is walking with so much shame and everyone is so trigger sensitive that it's like, I say one thing to you and everything blows up. You blow up, and next thing you say something to your kid, your husband, and then your kid said something to a friend at school, and then you're embarrassed that they did that. And so then now you're yelling at them for doing that, and you're embarrassed because you think it's your partner's fault because they're the one that's been so sensitive lately. So you shame your parent for your partner for that. And they're so upset because it feels like it's their parents that put pressure on them. And so they lash out at their parents. And then everyone is just triggered, trigger, 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 trigger. Everyone is triggered all the time. So can you imagine what happens if either your energy field is that you're constantly triggered and you have this like shame field, or if you don't have the shame field, you just feel extremely victimized by the shame. So you do feel shame, but when you feel shame, you crumble like a little thing and you just completely victimize yourself and you feel sad. Now your sad field is amplified. Someone else's anger is amplified. And so we're walking triggers, all of us. And we want it to be people's fault, but it's like, whose fault is it? If an entire field blows up because all the landmines triggered all the landmines, how do we find out which landmine started it? Whose fault is it if they all blow up? Is it one that made them all blow up, or is it one made one blow up and one made one blow up and one made one blow up and then they all blew up? So how are we supposed to do this? Because if we all try to be a little more grateful and a little more kumbaya from the inside out, personal development doesn't work. Because you take a person with a huge shame field and you try to get them to pick flowers in gratitude, and you will hit the wall of their shame, and it will be a question of seconds before they shame you. Because if a person walks around with a sadness field and you try to get them to pick a flower and feel the gratitude, they'll hit the walls of their sadness and they will crumble in pain for the joy they can't feel. Because if a person is walking around with an anger field and you try to have them amplify joy from the inside, as soon as they touch the walls of their anger, it'll come crashing in. So what do we do? The whole world wants to sell personal development books and quick fixes because we just want people to be happy. I wondered so often, how is it possible that we could possibly go from this beautiful thing that I was teaching and all of a sudden hit a wall like this? What went wrong? And then I got it. People say it's an inside job. You got to become happy from the inside. It all made sense, but it was the wrong way. It's not about trying to fix yourself from the inside. It's about returning to the source field. Not the bliss field, not the shame field, not the sadness field, not the anger field, the source field. And the only way I can explain the source field in my body is the mantra I said to myself every night in that car, which did not make me feel like I could just fly and I was so happy and my life was perfect. And it also did not take everything that I was so sad or mad or ashamed about and amplified it, the words that came out of my mouth were so simple. And I said them out loud to myself every night. And all I said was, we're all right. We're okay. We're all right. We're okay. I don't know where those words came, and I don't know why I said we, because it was really by myself. But these were the words. I'm all right. I'm okay. And they came out like a song, and I said them every day. And what it did is it felt like it brought me to a equilibrium. And I think that from this place of equilibrium, from this place of source field, we realize that anything can be created from source field. From the source right here, you could amplify joy, you could amplify sadness, you could amplify shame, you could amplify fear, you could amplify whatever you want, but you're not amplifying anything right now. You're all right. You're okay. We're all right. We're okay. I don't need to feel better. I just need to be okay. I don't need to replace my sadness and shove joy on top. I don't need to numb the terrible thing with this beautiful thing so that I'm distracted. I don't need to be right about being mad so that my anger has an outlet. I really just need to remember I'm okay. And if I can get myself back to I'm okay, then later on, from a place of source, from a place of zero, from a place of neutral, I'll be able to create whatever I want. And when I hit that place inside where I'm okay, and God sends me a snowflake, I see a miracle. When I'm in that place of I'm okay, and I see this one beautiful flower or a four-leaf clover. Kevin finds four-leaf clovers everywhere. Like if I suddenly see a little child laughing or a couple in love, all of a sudden from that place, I'm able to amplify whatever I want. But my job is to be able to bring myself back to the source field. We want to believe, and I know this, I've been coaching people for over a decade. People want to believe that source field means you're in the highest possible vibration you could possibly be. But that's not it. Source field is I'm okay, we're okay. And then your human power can amplify the source field into whatever you want. You can go from here to whatever you want. And so if you are able to amplify gratitude, gratitude, gratitude into absolute joy, into absolute bliss, into absolute joy, it is your human abilities that are doing that. Because spirits aren't happy or sad, they're source field. They vibrate on We came here for the human experience because it feels good and it feels bad and it feels mad and it feels sad and it feels glad, it feels crazy and wild and beautiful. And so when you manage to amplify the source field with your humanity, you are being the most extraordinary alchemist. You are the one that's saying, let's add a little bit of joy to this. Let's add a little bit of magic to that. Let's build this. Let's create this. But none of that feels possible unless you're going from here. If you're starting further back, if you're saying, look, I feel ashamed. No one loves me, but look, let me try to be happy so that they love me. Let me try to be this so that they love me. Let me try to be shiny so that they choose me. That is not human activation from source field. That is numbing. And it will always just fall in a bottomless pit. And so this is so frustrating because when you're not feeling great and you're watching other people do extraordinary things, it's like, why is it working for them? They're just being happy and magnetic and it's working for them. And the more magnetic I try to be, it doesn't work. But they probably found source field at some point in their lives. And for some people, source field comes in a rock bottom moment in their lives. And the reason I believe rock bottom is a beautiful meeting point for source field is because you realize you're okay. You're not happy. Let's just be very honest. You're not bouncing off the walls going, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm bankrupt, miserable, and hungry. This is great. But what hits you is, oh my God, I have nothing and I'm okay. And sometimes that is one of the most liberating feelings in this entire world. Because shame says, what's going to happen if you lose everything? What's going to happen if you can't pay the bills? What's going to happen if you lose everything? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Rock bottom says, we're okay. We're all right. And in that moment, it's as if you realize everything that's ever mattered. Who cares? So many people that have gone through a rock bottom, facing themselves in a way where it's like, oh my gosh, I've been worried about this worst thing in the world happening to me, and now I'm here, and now I'm fine. What the heck? From that place, when they had gratitude on top of that, when they had joy on top of that, when they add tears of bliss on top of that, when they add, I can't believe my luck, I can't believe my life, I can't believe my love, I can't believe the beauty, it stacks to the moon. But if I'm trying to fix what's not good with me, what's wrong with me, my anger, I'm just pouring into a hole, really. And if I try to amplify gratitude inside of a field where the walls are shame, I'll hit the shame. And it will be a question of time before I feel ashamed that I'm so happy, or I'm ashamed that I'm so sad, and I'm ashamed that I'm so this. Like, we're a self-contained, self-crashing machine. So there can be no field except for source field or gratitude, joy, happiness, but all those are amplified. Now, I know for some of you, you're going to listen to this call more than once, because the fact is this is a lot of information in one call, but it was the only way I could give you the entire call. Like, going through all of it is the only way I could give you the entire call without leaving you in a really dark place in the middle, which I didn't want to do. So you're going to realize that this call kind of goes like this. It's like, are we ever going to be happy again? Oh, wait, there's hope. Why is this so dark? Oh, wait, okay, there's a silver lining. It had to go like this. So there's a lot of information. You may watch this more than once. If you don't want to say, I'm okay, what I would look at is there a place in your life where if you say you're okay, you don't get to punish someone anymore? Or that you might be expected to get back up if you're okay. That someone might say, okay, good, you're okay. Can we turn the page now? And you'll be like, no, don't push me. When you're okay, the field around you changes. People then expect you to be okay. Sometimes we don't want to be okay just yet. We like that people are careful with us. We like that people are you feeling better? How is everything? It feels safe to be surrounded by that energy. So you can contemplate this for yourself. And there's no problem trying it out. Let's see what happens. Let's say I'm okay. What does that look like? Like, it doesn't mean I'm happy and I'm bouncing off the walls. It's just like, I am okay. If I don't amplify this to the edges of the earth and I just sit with the feelings, like, I can be sad and okay. I can be upset and okay. Now, why this is so important is because this is also what makes you not so easily shameable. So let's go back to this visualization. If you imagine this is everybody's regular source field energy, we are just zoom, boop, shame bubble. Okay, shame bubble, boom, shame bubble. The odds of these two colliding are pretty high now. Boom. Their spatial awareness is limited. Boom. They bump into each other. Boom. What happens when there's one like this and one goes, I'm okay? This one can turn in circles around the other one. This one can literally lie flat underneath and hide. This one can climb up a tree. It's got flexibility, mobility. It can run, it can move. It's not just a little ball that gets bumped into the shame. It can move. Even if there's two shame bubbles and they keep bumping into each other, boom, boom, the little one can pass in between. When you're amplified, you're going to bump into things. Now, what would happen if I amplified gratitude and you also amplified gratitude? Bump. And we bumped into each other. What would probably happen? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're here. I'm so happy to see you. Oh my gosh, you've seen a beautiful day. This is the most incredible thing. I can't believe I'm meeting you here. This is so wild. I didn't expect you to see you here. Like, da 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 da. Bump. So when you amplify the gratitude, you bump into people with gratitude. It's perfect. What happens when a gratitude or a bliss bumps into a shame? It depends. So when the gratitude hits the shame says, watch where you're going. What the heck do you think you're doing? Being all happy and blissful, not looking where you're going. You just hit me. You big round thing. You didn't even look. Just blissfully walking around, not looking. Must be nice. Must be nice to not have to look where you're going. Must be nice not to care about other people. You think you're so better than everyone because you're happy? You just bumped right into me. So it's not like just being blissful will no longer see shame. As a matter of fact, your odds of bumping into them is a lot bigger because boom. So when you get bigger, boom, and the shame is big, boom, the odds of bump happen. So there's two things. Either you get bumped and you're able to just hold your bliss. And inside, you actually feel, whew, I'm so glad I'm not that bumpy. I'm so glad I'm not that grumpy person today. Like, gosh, I prefer my way of being. I don't know how this person is feeling today, but I am so grateful that I don't feel this way. I'm so incredibly grateful that this is not my experience. I'm so incredibly grateful that that's not how I feel. Wow. You could see it as a mirror. You could also catch the shame. So it touches you and it starts to invade the bubble. Oh my gosh, did I bump into that person? I was so happy I didn't notice. Maybe I was too happy. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oops, 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 oops. And then all of a sudden your bubble becomes a big old shame bubble. And so up until this module, it feels like those are our two only options sometimes. I'm either big in my joy or I'm big in my sadness. And so if I bump into shame and shame makes me feel shamed, then now I'm ashamed. But if I bump into shame and somehow I'm able to feel my bliss anyway, then I can stay bliss. But we forget that we can also go back to source field. I'm okay. I'm all right. And then boop, pop right back out. Instead of letting the shame take over you and stay big, but stay scared and try to negotiate and fight and not want to move and not want to shrink and not want to, source field, boop, come back out. You get to just go inwards for one moment. If you're not able to hold your bliss, go back to source field. This is one of the ways that I felt shame in my life, is people saying, don't let them shame you. Don't let them win. It's like, what does that even mean? Don't let them win. Don't let them shame you. What does that mean? It means that if they manage to make me feel ashamed, or if they say something to me that's really mean and I feel it, I'm wrong. So now it's not just that they said a mean thing to me, it's also that I messed up because I feel it. This is like the level of other people telling you how you should feel in this life is kind of insane. Don't let it affect you. Why would you let it affect you? Because it did. Because I'm human. Because I care. Because that was mean. Because it was rude. Because you could tell they were trying to hurt me. Because it looked like it had a bad intention. Because it was angled in the wrong way. Because it hit me. Because it made me feel unsafe. Because it reminded me of when I wasn't safe. What do you want from me? Oop, shame. If it hits you and you feel the shame touch you, don't try to stay big to prove. It'll eat you alive. If you got hit by the shame, source field. You're not shrinking to hide. You're regrouping to center. It's so different. You're not shrinking. You're not saying, oh, I don't want to bump into you. Let me shrink. You're saying, I did bump into you and I don't want to catch this. Let me go back to source. And there'll be times you won't need to do that. A person will bump you and you'll just go, huh, that didn't actually affect me the way it used to. I'm so grateful. Actually, I'm still big. I feel it. I'm still big. I'm still in my bliss. And I actually feel so grateful that that didn't affect me, that I'm actually bigger than I was. But when we see it this way, there's so much less stigma attached to it. If we were all at source field, we would all walk, never bumping into each other. That can't be the purpose either. Why come on earth just to be source? We want to feel things. It's just, we don't want to lose ourselves in those feelings. So you go out from source field and you do everything you can to amplify into bliss and gratitude and joy. And you'll get bumped. You'll get bumped by people who've amplified shame and amplified sadness and amplified anger. And sometimes you'll be able to hold yourself, and other times you'll start to change. You'll get sad, you'll get mad. But if you can go back to source and let yourself be okay, you will then be able to reopen the way that you want. Who you are and your ability to be in charge of how you expand and come back to source is what makes you the most safe space. Like ultimately, we need to be able to expand and retract, or else we're just going to spend our entire lives tiny little spirits that aren't experiencing the human emotions. Like, we don't really come here for that. We want to feel it all. So we want to play in this. But the most unsafe person is the person who says, you bumped into me with your joy. You deserve to be ashamed, like me. You know, I'm sad. I bump into you. You need to be sad. You're sad. You bump into me. Now I'm sad. I was so happy until I bumped into you. Now I feel ashamed. It's all your fault. I was so happy before I bumped into you, but now I feel this and it's all your fault. These are the people who make the minds explode. These are the people who make the whole field explode. I'm sorry. Sorry is not enough. Well, what would be enough? Crippling shame. I need to be able you to feel what you're supposed to feel. If I'm sad, you're sad. If I'm mad, you're mad. If I'm ashamed, you're ashamed. And if you bump into me, the self-righteousness. But who are the safer people? And when I say safe, I mean, how can we make a planet work without constantly being in trauma loops for the rest of time? Is that each person on the planet understands that they can return to source field. Every person understands that it's in their innate capacity to say, oh my gosh, I'm so blissed out. This is amazing. This is awesome. Boom. Ow. Oh no, shame. Oh no. Okay, source field. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Joy. I'm okay and I'm so grateful I'm okay. Gratitude. I'm okay and I'm so happy I'm okay. Joy, gratitude, bliss. Ha! Oh my gosh, how's this working? This is amazing. It's in every person's ability to say, boom, shame. Oh no, source field. This is not nobody's fault. This is my feelings. I'm okay. Is there actually something for me to look at? Is there actually something here that I'm literally ashamed of? Like, is there a shame in me? No. It's not mine. It's okay. And it's also in our human capacity to do something and feel from the inside, oh, I feel shame. Well, what happened? I did a thing. Well, what did you do? I did that. And that's not right. And I amplified the person. Like I saw when I said it, the person's shame amplified. I took it on like, oh my gosh, I really said a bad thing. I don't know why I said that though. Like, I don't know what happened. I feel so bad. Why do I do this? Like, there was no reason for me to do that. There was nothing wrong whatsoever. And I just said it from nothing. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, I'm such a bad person. I'm a bad friend. Nobody really deserves me. Whoa. I think I really took that out of proportion. I had a bad night's sleep. And whatever I ate last night did not sit well with me. I haven't been to the bathroom properly in 2 days. And I think my period starts, tomorrow. Source field. Or I'm in my source field. Boom. Who bumps into source field? I was meditating. You don't get to be mad. You're mad. You bump into me. I'm in source field and you're mad. Now I'm mad. Bump. Oh, now you bump into me too. Everybody's bumping into me today. I guess I'm just the person everybody bumps into today. Source field. At any point, whether you were bumped into for no reason, whether it looks like a pattern and everything's bumping into you today, whether it feels like it came from nowhere. Like, where did this even rise from? I just woke up. There's literally nothing wrong. I'm fine. And I just snapped for nothing. Oh, wait, my period starts tomorrow. I ate dairy late last night and I really need to go to the bathroom, but my body won't let me. This explains the anger. Gosh, okay. Source field. Just because you're in peace doesn't mean you won't be disrupted. Trust me, it's usually when women are in my program like, okay, no one bother me. I'm going to be in my lair in my office and I'm going to be learning the portal drop today. So no one, do you know where like that's when it happens. People love to bump into you when you're in source field just for fun. Like, ooh, the middle target. It's like you're the bullseye when you're in source field. It's like, this is a hard thing to hit. Let's try it. So the other part of this is as you decide or as you declare, I am the source. I can take myself back to source field. I have it within me. I can bring myself back to my centeredness. There are going to be people who will be like, ooh, bullseye, target. It's going to happen. And then you've got to be able to just keep saying it. I am okay. It happens to me all the time. People are like, oh yeah, you're in the source field? You're in the source field? Can you see? I'm not touching you. You're in the source field? I don't know. Why are you bugging me? I'm not touching you. No, but you're bugging me really, really closely. Can you not handle it? I thought you were enlightened. Huh? Huh? Leave me alone. Sounds like you're getting grumpy. Are you getting grumpy in the source field? I didn't think you could get grumpy in the source field. Maybe you're not in the source field. Maybe there is no source field. Boom. Okay, you got me. I'm mad. You're not perfect? How very dare you? Sound the alarms. Call the police. She isn't perfect. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then you just go, source field. I'm okay. 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 Because the thing is, people don't love being angry or ashamed. And then you're just like, and they're like, get mad. And you're like, like, get mad. Get mad. Like, I want to trigger you back. Like, why do you get to be in peace when I'm so triggered? Like, oh, you think you're better than me? How about now? How about now? Boom. How about now? It's the craziest thing. Your kids will do this to you. You will have a day where you're like, you know what? Today is the day I am not going to get mad at anyone. I am source fielding with my children today. You wake up in the morning, one of them kicks you in the face as they're judo chopping the pillow before you've woken up this morning. Good morning. You get kicked in the face. You weren't even awake yet. You're like, how? In my sleep with my eyes closed, I manifested a source field day. How do we get here? Because leaders are bridges and bridges are tested. And if you actually want to do big things in this world, you will have to be able to test yourself. It's not enough to just be like, I am in the source field and I'm fine. It's like, are you? Prove it. And you won't be perfect. And there's going to be times where you go boom, 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 6 times in a day. But eventually something will hit you and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't just expand the shame. I didn't do it. Normally, this would have made me really mad and it didn't. So what starts to happen then is that you understand you have a lot more control than you thought. And not control like the control trying to change it, control like an ability to move within all of your feelings. You can be sad and actually really feel in your body, this sadness isn't going to last. I can feel it. It's safe. It's okay. You'll be able to feel angry and say, this isn't even mine. Source field. Like, I'm all right. I'm okay. You'll see yourself be like, okay, let me try to amplify the gratitude. And as you try to do it, you'll feel sadness or anger build up. You'll be like, I'm hitting a wall. I didn't even realize I was grumpy today. Source field. Okay. A little bit of gratitude. I feel it now. A little bit of joy. I feel it now. A little bit. Whoa, this stuff works. You'll feel your joy expand. Then someone bumps you, source field. So what I want you to practice between now and the next call, and you've got all weekend to practice this, is can you just make it lighter in your life when you get bumped? Someone's in their anger, they bump into you. Can you go back in? Can you hold your joy? If you can't, just go back to source field and let yourself build it back up. Like, just see if you can do it. And if you can't, like you have a hard time, just spend more time with yourself, being allowed to feel what you feel. Don't start amplifying shame because you had a hard time with this experiment. Let it be. Say, I see it. I totally see it. I see that I love this concept and I want to try it on, and then it's hard for me, and then I shame myself, and now I'm this walking ball of shame. And any person in my life that tells me they're working on something, I want to burst their bubble. I take this program, source field, Melanie, oh my gosh, I fail 3 times. Now my cousin's on a new diet. I'm like, it won't work. You're going to quit. You quit everything. God, why did I say that? I'm sorry. I don't even know why I said that. Oh, it's because I've been struggling with my source field exercise. So let it be light. And if you accidentally bump into someone with anger or shame or sadness and you're aware of it, practice saying something like, that was not yours. I need a break. That you were, I shouldn't, like, that was not for you. Don't pick that up. I apologize. I'm going to go take a little break. Practice just tidying up when you bump into something. I don't know why that came out at you. It had nothing to do with you. I'm so sorry about that. I'm going to go sit because that was not supposed to come out at you at all. It has nothing to do with you. Please don't pick that up. Instead of amplifying, I'm the worst person in the world. I don't even deserve friends. No wonder everybody hates me. You should hate me. I'll understand if you never want to talk to me again. Blah, 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 blah. We don't want to do that. So see what happens. Have an experiment. Don't worry too much if you have bumps, but notice them. See what comes up. If you can be lighthearted about it, it's helpful. And if real shame comes in from inside where you're like, gosh, I really just hurt that person, or I made that about me when it wasn't about me, or, you know, I caused a rupture for something inside of me. Like, this is why I feel ashamed, is because I'm seeing myself in the mirror. Like, that is not in alignment with me and my behavior. Take responsibility for it and watch the shame go away. You're not supposed to hold on to it forever. Like, you did something bad and now you hold shame forever. Shame is, you've got a reflection in the mirror. Oh, yes. Oh. Oh. Well, make it right. And then look in the mirror again and things will change. Okay. Okay. I really want to take responsibility for what happened before. It was not about you. Something triggered me and I took it out on you and you did not deserve that. I love you. I respect you. And I'm really sorry for my outburst. It was not about you and you shouldn't have had to face that today. I love you and I'm working on myself. Okay. Thank you. Whoa. I'm proud of me. How did that change so fast? Because what I usually do is, you've got a reflection. Oh, burn this mirror, break this mirror, make sure no one in the land ever sees this mirror. May it never be known by any soul ever that I have ever had this reflection in this mirror, ever. Hide it, quick. Now I feel shame that I hid the mirror. You've got a new reflection. I don't want to see it. So now you're avoiding the mirror. You have a new reflection. I don't want to see that one either. There are 7,623,472,628 and a half unlooked at reflections. I have anxiety. I wonder why. So enjoy your weekend. Let yourself be human. It's okay if you're sad. It's okay if you're mad. It's okay if you have moments of shame. Just don't amplify them into your field. Come back to source. You're all right. You're okay. We're all right. We're okay. And then you can play with magnifying your pockets of bliss and report back and let me know how it goes. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the internet.